All right. Let's get this out of the way first. The thoughts, views, and opinions expressed on Tailboard Talks Firefighter Podcast are solely those of the speakers, guests, and host, and do not in any way represent the thoughts or views or opinions of any other employer, partnership, or sponsor. The material and information in this podcast is for general information purposes only and should be used at the listener's discretion. All right, ready?
I'll win anyway.
It's not pull-ups.
Oh, I'll definitely win.
Not with those boots on. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Tailboard Talks Firefighter Podcast. I'm here in a new location. Way in, I don't even know where. I took 3 dirt roads to get here. I passed a horse and carriage, and I'm not living in Pennsylvania. It was weird. I had to go back and find a map, like a written down map that was rolled up like a scroll.
Stop being dramatic.
To get out here in no man's land. But I'm here with Angie. And for this episode, it's same but different. Recently, I talked to Stephanie White. Stephanie White is running FirefighterNation.com, and I said, hey, Stephanie, I want to do a podcast for you. And she said, you're not really good enough. I need you to find a co-host, too. Preferably a female, and preferably Angie. And I said, okay, fine. That sounds like all doable. What we're going to do for Firefighter Nation is we're going to pick an article a month, basically, or be sent an article a month. Or you guys are going to say, hey, I really like this article. I want to hear more about it. And we're going to contact the author and get on a interview with the author and ask them questions about the article so we can get the behind the scenes stuff or the extra stuff they couldn't fit in the article or really what they're upset or frustrated or hoping to achieve with the article. So we're planning on doing that. Today, came out here at no man's land, like I said, took 2 boats to get here to talk to Angie and just introduce you to her. And we're also going to talk about an article I found on FirefighterNation.com that talks about fitness because that's in both of our wheelhouse, as you'll learn. But then she already came up with a bunch of other topics to talk about on it. So we're just going to go bananas for 27 to 32 minutes approximately. So with that, Angie, in your boots, tell us a little bit about yourself. Not really where you live because nobody will know where that is, but go for it.
All right. I'm Angie, obviously. I have been in the fire service for going on about 5 years now. Prior to that, I was going to college for kinesiology. I was a kinesiology major. Unfortunately, did not finish that. Kind of bounced around medical field and PT, massage therapy school. I've done it all, unfortunately. I've done it all and landed right into the fire service. So that is kind of where I'm at now. Married, no kids, dink life. Sorry.
Which is why we're in your barn out here.
Yeah, exactly.
Because my house is not dink life. My house is doink life or whatever the opposite of it.
Well, that's all right. 3 dogs and fitness. Fitness is a big one. So I guess that's what we're here to talk about today. A little bit with the article. So the article we're going to talk about was from Roy Smalley, kind of a name in the industry. And his article is all about just being smart. And I liked it a lot because a lot of articles are out there are like, you got to go 100% or no days off or no excuses or if you're not throwing up your workout, it's not worth it. Roy Smalley was like, hey, let's chill out a little bit. We got a lot of stuff going on. It's not that hard to get in shape. It's not that hard to get back in shape. Here's some guidelines for the little bit you can do to get better. And then here's the threshold for if you really want to get good, here's how much more you have to do. But none of it has to be as crazy as it sounds. None of it has to be as intense or life and death or crucial and stressful as a lot of places make it out to be. So we like that. And then you had some thoughts on kind of spurring off that. So is there anything you want to talk about the article? And then we can go into your side quest here. As far as the article goes, I think that, it's important for viewers to know that fitness is simple. I think, especially when it comes to the fire service, they always say that keep it simple, stupid. That's
rude.
Well, it's true.
It's
but
a family show. We can't
I'm still learning that, to be honest. So anyone who knows me knows that I overthink anything that I could possibly do. I always make it harder for myself. So, but fitness is simple. He talks about a lot of data, which I love data. I think you're someone who also loves data. That something as simple as having 8 15-minute workouts a week, which is incredibly more sustainable for people than to be in the gym for 2 hours. It equates. it equates to being in the gym for 2 hours, meeting people where they're at, being okay with it. Hustle culture, he mentions, which made me go on a tangent because I'm like, absolutely, like, this is not how it's supposed to be. But even I struggle with this, and I think I need to be like, in this go. I think that's something that a lot of people struggle with. But I think the importance is that it doesn't have to be as complicated as people think. I try to explain that to people too. I mean, running shoes and a pair of dumbbells, and you can get incredibly in shape with, 2 things. You don't need some extravagant gym. Please don't look at my gym and tell me that
super extravagant.
It's not. The aesthetics is not, but the things I have are. So.
They're very nice.
They are.
It's very nice equipment. It's very durable and expensive equipment.
For sure.
I like it a lot.
Some of it I've only used one time, but
which is just a testament to how much you like it, but you don't
that's
need
what I'm
it,
saying.
Right?
Well, right, exactly. No,
Yeah.
and it's totally true. And he talks about preserving muscle, which is huge in longevity wise.
Yeah.
Not, dying on the floor 5 times a week is not really necessarily good for you. It's actually coherently bad for you. Especially for people like us in the fire service who are already in this fight or flight, all the time. I think that we have a hard time turning that off. Now we're doing workouts that are turning it back on. We're going into structure fires sometimes. I'm going to say sometimes.
Occasionally.
Occasionally.
Angie sees the red stuff.
Occasionally. Yeah. And then we're told to hop in a sauna after, which, was very interesting. I was at a class with a doctor that talked about, that cardiovascular strain in a structure fire. Now we're telling people to hop in the sauna right after, creating more cardiovascular, stress.
It's going to be a good topic.
It's going to be a great topic.
I have counterpoints to all this stuff.
Oh, there's
I'm
a
big
lot
fan
of great
sauna.
stuff. I know, and I knew you were going to, I knew he's going to.
Several different types of sauna,
yes.
first of all. So my sauna is a steam sauna.
Okay.
$200, Amazon.
Oh, yeah. The
rice cooker tent.
Yes.
It's all good, right?
Yeah.
Very, very hot.
Yeah.
This is kind of getting off topic, but it's okay. Now there's the other kind of sauna, the far infrared sauna.
Yes.
Which does not raise anything above 110 degrees inside the box.
Okay.
But will increase your core temperature 2 to 3 degrees, which will elicit the sweating response. So you're not feeling like you're in my sauna, in the wet sauna. It gets to a point where they're 15 minutes in and 10 minutes to go, and you feel like you're running a mile. Like you feel like your heart's racing. You're like, I can hear my heart in my ears.
Oh, that's not good.
My headphones right now. It's great. The far infrared sauna, you just sit there. You can be on your phone. Like it's very low intensity, but the far infrared penetrates your body, warms that up from the inside out, not the outside in, like a micro. Not
I was gonna say like your microwave.
You're in a microwave, not a boiling pot of water.
Gotcha.
Without the micro radiation kind of thing. So
okay.
let's describe the mechanism and not the action. Okay. So I get it. 2 different kinds. There's a lot of criticism early on of like, let's say you have these carcinogens on you. Say your hair smells like smoke, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're going to go in a sauna and heat all that up so it off gases, and then you breathe it in. Why is that good for you? Right. Turns out your liver does its job. Right. And then you're fine. There's also very specific guidelines around the sauna use in my department because we have one. It got a little bit of resistance, so we stayed with one. But the guidelines were very specific of the temperature you could set it at, the duration, and then you were allotted time in there of like, here's the steps. You take a shower, so you get the gross decon off. You go in the sauna for X amount of time. There's a bike in there that has a little magnetic wheel just to move around and get a little more sweat going sooner than if you just sat in there for a half hour in a low temperature. Then within 5 minutes, you wipe off with a new set of towels, and then you go take another shower, and you wipe off with a new set of towels. So you've now deconned essentially 4 times. Oh my gosh. As opposed to blowing your nose and seeing garbage boogers come out and then going to bed. Yeah. Or just letting it soak into the fabric chairs, the fabric recliners we have. So I'm down with it. I get it. We're not going to edit that part out because I feel like I'm smart, and
no, that's
I've built
totally
a good case for it, right? But I get it. There's a lot of different ways to skin the cat, right? So that, unfortunately, is a complicated area. Yeah. But I'll tell you, before we had saunas, and this goes into another.
Please
my
don't say
mind
cold
already
plunge.
exploded.
Please don't say cold plunge.
No, I'm not doing any cold plunges.
Okay, good.
I don't even like.
Please don't say that.
I don't even like when I'm in the shower and I turn the knob, turn it off, and my hand slips and it gets cool. I don't even like that little bit of it. Like I'm not doing a cold plunge. No. What I was going to say was just put on stuff that makes you sweat, sweatpants and a sweatshirt.
Well, yeah,
and a hat,
and I wasn't
just do
saying
it.
that saunas are bad. No,
You
saunas
were.
are great. No. You misinterpreted. Saunas, getting your heart rate up right after a structure fire,
Sure.
when you're already cardiovascularly stressed. That's what she was saying. Saunas are great
It's
for
a double
you.
whammy.
Yeah, but like saunas are great for you, like for multiple different reasons. But you are much more in tune with the sauna stuff. I'm still a peasant with no sauna right now, so not even your
Right there.
microwave one, whatever it
there.
is.
Boiling
I mean,
pot
I
of
know.
water.
I know.
I do like
I
that
have
though.
room.
Yeah, having the double whammy where you have not only the cortisol going through you from the fire, and then you got stressed out stuff because who knows if it went well or not. You'll be stressed out anyways, and then jumping right back into like basically another high intensity workout.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
a double whammy for sure, right?
So,
And I think that's where you see, not that the people are doing saunas all the time, but then you see the reports of 68-year-old fire captain found dead the next morning after a fire or something that, or after a training evolution. And he was dehydrated from the morning. He came in, did this RIT drill, and then had the grabber because he was set up for failure from the beginning kind of thing. So I get it. I'm with it. But let's talk about the immediate bane to your existence, which is hustle culture.
Yeah,
Because
hustle culture.
I said, hey, what do you think about this fitness article? And you said, what? This hustle culture thing? I said, okay. So tell me about your feud with hustle culture. We'll kind of keep it to that because I don't know how far are we in already, but I'm sure we're 10 minutes in or so.
Yeah, probably.
Right? So give me some hustle culture hate and we'll get going.
2 years ago, like I said, hustle culture I thought was the greatest thing to ever exist. I think that social media had a huge influence on hustle culture. Like if you're not grinding, you are failing. So like that was the whole thing. And I think that even myself, like even with like fitness, I totally identified myself with that a lot. This is a very go, 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 go. I think that the newer generation definitely has flipped it a little bit. I think hustle, the whole hustle thing has definitely started to, I don't want to say totally go away, is changing a little bit. I want to say it is changing a little bit. On the fire pages, not so much. I think that's still pretty big. But I thought, I was like, I'm going to be the next David Goggins. This is exactly how I'm supposed to be. And, while I see other people do it, it was a constant, oh my God, I'm not good enough. Oh my God, I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing enough. This person's doing this and I'm not doing it. I'm laying on my couch because I have this, I'm sick and I am going to go out there and I'm going to go row 5K and I'm going to because I'm supposed to be hustling harder and doing more. And that was 2 years ago. I mean, but it also broke me.
Yeah.
And I still see people doing it. And I still deal with day to day where I see people where I'm like, how come they're able to do this? Yeah. And my body was like, screw you.
But do you ever feel like they're not doing that?
For sure. Because I'm like, I know, I record workouts. You've seen it. No way. No way is you're not just out there just setting up your camera. And when I would post my workouts, I'll be the first to admit, was my workout that much of a workout when I posted it? You guys will never know. But no.
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
The
but I'm
illusion of Angie. Running strong.
Exactly. Whose life is like
these
that?
These aren't even real tattoos. These is just
No, I wash these off. I put them on every day. No, whose life is like this? Yeah. And you see, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, and it's like, no, no, we don't. I mean, sure, 24 hours in a day, but even you and me are coherently different in our lives. You have kids. I don't. I actually am an old man. I am bored a lot, but even I don't have the, motivation sometimes to come out, and do, whatever it is that I think I need to do. And my workouts, used to be I need to be close to death before, otherwise I'm not getting a good workout at all. And that has changed a lot in the last 2 years. And honestly, thankfully to you, partially. Because
you see how little I do, and you're
and I'm like, it's fine.
I'm still good.
Chris doesn't do much. It's all right. I can do something. Yeah. Oh, he's eating Culver's. I think I'll do that as well. Sounds like a good idea. Yeah, but no, I mean, and I think it also interties with in case you guys didn't know, Chris also put out an article on Firefighter Nation, talks about basically finding your thing. And the hustle thing I had said before the camera was rolling was how much of this really is us hiding, some kind of mental caveats that we have, whether that's, an anxiety thing, or firefighters don't really like to sit with their thoughts, no matter what it is or what it is. That's why we have a million jobs outside of our career, or we're always doing something, or we're always overcommitting because why? I guess is the big question. Why are we doing this?
I mean, I don't know the answer. I know that I was actually just thinking about this yesterday because there's a distinct class of firefighters that I grew up with in my department, and they were just firemen. Like, they either had nothing going on and didn't go to college, so they joined the fire department, or they got back from the military and went right into the fire department. Yep. It was either fire department, driving a trash truck, or being a bum. Like, that was the options back when they got hired. And they were just plain firemen. Like, they would get excited hearing a call across town, start driving that way when we had less companies. They were just in it 100%. They would love to go to fires and do stuff. They would ditch EMS calls to go to maybe fires. Like, they were just plain firemen. And I was thinking, like, I wonder how much of that is from, now this is really stretching, like their childhood, and like they don't have iPads. They don't have all these things. They don't have cell phones. So when something happens, it's awesome. And like if someone says, hey, I need your help, like that's worth my attention because I got nothing else going on. I want to give my attention to something. Right. But now our attention is so fractured everywhere. It's like, well, that's good. It's important. But I have these 15 other things currently in my brain and in my head right now that I want to be doing. And I think from that, it's swung the other way now of like those guys were so enthusiastic about everything, even the little stuff. And it's almost like when they show memes and stuff on the internet of like, I wonder why I want to live in a minimalist home. And they show their childhood home and there's just crap everywhere. And now the pendulum's swinging of like, well, I saw my parents didn't have anything and I was bored all through my childhood. So I'm going to swing back this way and just do everything. Yeah. Do everything I can. Everything's exciting. And in that, like there's guys that don't like driving home from work because it's too quiet. Too quiet to drive home. Yeah. They got to go do something else. So they can't go home because that's where the pain in the ass is. That's where your wife is or your kids are or something that's causing you more stress. So I'm just going to go do something else. Right. I definitely think there's a little bit of that avoiding in it. I think other people might just be unfulfilled and just bummed out. Like the personal training stuff I did with Kurt, creating this company, trying to do like writing and the podcast and everything. A lot of that was because there just wasn't that opportunity where I worked at the time. Like there wasn't a huge infrastructure or like community built around exercise. I had this experience of doing exercise stuff and be a fireman. I was like, well, I'm not going to be used here to do it. I'm not getting the audience or not getting the funding or the support to do it here. So I'll just go do it kind of on my own, And I think if guys join a department and maybe only occasionally you get to go see the red stuff, and they're like, well, I'm not helping anybody. Yeah. And I'm not doing anything here. I'm just going to go do something else. I'll go hang gutters, and that gives me a good feeling, and I'll make some money doing that too. Yeah. So I think it comes from a lot of different areas. But it doesn't do us any good. And it's also, unless you're going from a firehouse to a construction job, some other job, and back, I see that as like you're busy a lot. You're doing a lot of stuff and you're busy. If it's what you're seeing if the person that you're emulating or envying is on Instagram or Facebook, they're not doing 75% of what they're putting out there. No, it's not real. So there's two different classes of people with hustle culture, right? We have a guy that would not retire, drove market day, did every $15 an hour job he could and never went home, versus the person who goes home, puts up their awesome workout for 3.5 minutes, has to watch it back, play it back. That's what I did the other day. Yeah, it's a sweet break in the workout. Oh, yeah, I know. Watching your own footage back and then editing it down. So I would say they're lying. Bottom line is they're lying. I agree. But yeah, we have enough time.
But it's enough to affect us.
Big time.
It's enough to affect us. We know it's not real, but we're sitting there like, oh, why can't I do that? Yeah. Why can't I get up at 4 a.m. and journal?
Oh, because that sucks. Yeah. That's actually one thing I do like about the new generation is you'd be like, hey, do you want to do this thing? And where me and you would be like, I don't, but you're asking me to, so it means I probably should. And then we kind of ruminate on it and be like, let's go do it. You'll be like, hey, do you want to do this thing? They're like, no. And they're out of there.
Yeah.
They're gone
No,
before
we
you can be
don't.
like, well, what do you mean? And they're like, well, where did they go? They're already gone. And they're just gone. They have no obligation.
Yeah, I was just going to say
beyond.
another great point to your article is like not enjoying things when you're obligated to do them, right? You no longer enjoy them. So it's great that you found your thing.
It's
I think a lot of
rotating
people well, yeah, I think a lot of people are trying to fill a lot of holes.
Yeah.
It's still like we are so, well, like I said before, you're geriatric, you're really old compared to me. So we have this big gap.
Yeah. This big.
But it doesn't seem like this big gap because it's crazy to me to think about the way things have changed just from
Now you sound old.
me. I know.
Yeah.
I know. Nice. Not old. I told you I'm going backwards. But
Yeah.
So tell me though, like hustle culture, was that a thing? Was that a thing for you in this fire service in the beginning? Like what did workouts look like? What did people work out? Or like what did the firehouse say? Because I mean,
No.
I can't tell you how many times I've sat out,
No, it was way more social.
Yeah.
No, people were content. The workouts were, you go to the YMCA or you go back to Lifetime or Export and you do your workout. And the guys who will work out in town at the Y were living in town, working in town for 20, 30 years, so they knew the people there. And they just go do their machines and their Nautilus stuff and do their workout. And then you had a group of athletes who played sports and came in and they would work out together at Export or do whatever their thing. You had Kurt coming up who was doing more like fitness and CrossFit stuff that is much more reminiscent of today. But you had like the bowling league and the softball league and
So hobbies that were
social events,
athletic.
social stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
You had a bunch of social stuff going on, not just do your own thing and then be forced to work out or be forced to be active kind of thing like that. So it is very different. And I've talked about this a lot of times on my episodes of like just the fact of learning how to swing a hammer or carry something or do anything athletic is like pretty foreign to a lot of people coming up now because there's not that social thing. If you didn't get it in school or in college, there's not like you're waiting another 5-6 years of screwing around playing men's league sports and going and picking up rec league games before you join the fire service. Like that's it.
Yeah.
So if you're not involved in sports and that kind of recreational stuff beforehand, then you don't have it coming in. And I don't think it's different than before. I think it's always been that way. Mm-hmm. But I think the average level of aptitude with manual labor and athletics is lower now than it was before. I would say that. But there's always been unathletic, disinterested people in the fire service.
Yeah, I don't think that. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that there are some people they're not gonna change. Like they're just gonna be, and then you just have to accept that. Yeah. As a coworker, like.
But CrossFit did screw up a lot of stuff.
Okay. All right. Okay.
CrossFit CrossFit did amazing things.
Yeah, it started in the Marines.
CrossFit, so did TRX. CrossFit did amazing things for getting barbells in people's hands and incredible group dynamics, incredible camaraderie, and incredible community.
Yes.
Terrible exercise selection, just horrendous programming, questionable results. But
2014 CrossFit and like now CrossFit is incredibly different.
Yeah, I would hope so.
Incredibly different.
But yeah, CrossFit was definitely the big boom. I mean, before that, it was like a group class before CrossFit was like aerobics class.
Yeah.
Or spin class. That was the group class, like Group X, like aerobic stuff. Right. TRX was barely on the scene.
It wasn't as competitive.
There was nothing to compete at. Cause you know
it
why?
was more enjoyable.
Well, CrossFit is the only thing. CrossFit wasn't a sport until they started paying their athletes who won.
Yeah.
There's nothing to compete at. Right. What are you competing at?
Right.
With TRX or in water aerobics or spin class, like what are you competing to win, right?
Right.
So that gamification of it definitely brought on a whole new class of everything. But that was always the fight of like, why would I get really good at lifting a 95-pound weight faster when I can lift 135 and then 225 and 275 and 315? Yeah. Like, what's more valuable?
Right.
Well, if you're big in the game side of it, getting more efficient at 95 pounds is way more valuable.
Well, exactly.
But what does that do for your overall strength you're trying to build? It kind of cuts it off at the knees, right?
Right.
So it's just a thing. It's the same thing as going and playing hockey. Like, I'm only going to spend so much time practicing a slap shot in hockey because at the end of the day, it's a hobby kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Same thing with CrossFit. CrossFit's a hobby.
It is a hobby. It is a hobby.
How much time are you going to spend
Right.
perfecting your thrusters and your burpees when it's
Well,
cool, but you're going to
don't
do
ask
something
me.
else.
So
Yeah.
I'm the wrong person.
About
to
another
ask.
10 years.
Yeah, I'm just like, don't ask me.
All right. I don't know how long we are.
I don't know either.
Several different tangents there.
There's a ton of tangents.
Is there anything you want to leave the people with as we look forward to Firefighter Nation and the new show we're doing? That's going to be the fourth Monday of every month for the platform.
Well, I just want everyone to be excited about this. I think that it's important to see different perspectives of different articles, the geriatrics versus the newer people. I think that this is going to be very interesting because me and Chris will go at it, and that will be, I think, fun to watch.
Okay.
I think we're both very opinionated people
Mm-hmm.
and have no problems saying that and expressing. So I just want to hear, hopefully over the time with this podcast, I hope it gets big and that, people really do reach out on topics that that articles they see that they really want to have some good controversy, in these. And I just want...
Why are you looking for controversy?
I don't know. I just love fighting. I should have been a lawyer.
God, man.
I don't know.
It's supposed to be a
I just like
show where we
challenging
nurture
people.
interviews with authors that we want to learn more about. And you're like, I just want to
fight.
Yeah, I just want to bite somebody's face off.
No, I think this is
Send me articles to hate.
No.
I can argue with somebody
This
about.
is just, it's going to be really great to hear about authors.
Okay, good.
It will be. It will
Way
be
to bring it back.
very good. Meeting people from conferences, I think this is going to be exciting to, bring some things back for other people to learn, and hopefully people who are above ranks to listen and take some things into heart. So listening to the little people.
Fight with them.
I'll never fight with them.
Yeah.